welcome to the Vanilla Tulip Farmhouse. Today I wanted to talk about homeschooling and the curriculum that we are using this current year. In years past, we have always used Horizon curriculum, and I love Horizon curriculum. It's textbook style, and it builds on each other really well. But what I was finding the end of last year is that we were lacking in just writing skills. And while Horizon does a really good job of phonics and things like that, we weren't writing as much as I wanted us to be writing. And I had also kind of felt like the joy of learning wasn't as much there the older that they got, because the way that it was working was we would open up our textbooks, they would do some lessons out of it. There just wasn't a lot of joy in the learning. Initially, we had done all of Horizons so that we could just get the basics done, and that would free us up to do other unit studies, which worked really well in years past. However, as they were getting older, I felt like we just needed more. And so I began to do research over the summer and started really digging and looking for curriculum that in my mind I knew that I wanted, but unfortunately I was never able to find it. And I kept coming up empty-handed. I looked through all of the different kinds of curriculum, and then one day, I don't even remember who was talking about it, I stumbled upon The Good and the Beautiful. And I remember pulling up the website, and it was just this huge weight of relief because I knew I had found exactly what I was looking for this next year. One of the things that really drew me to it was that it was faith-based and that it had a very high academic level, as well as it was incredibly rich in literature. And that was what I had really wanted. And with other programs, with other curriculum that I had been looking at, I had found very rich literature-based programs, but there was a lot of hands-on and a lot of hands-on with the teacher. So I bought the curriculum and was waiting for it to come in, and I was really excited about it, and I started Googling reviews on it because I wanted to find other mamas who had used it and who loved it and their experiences with it. I was super excited. And I remember Googling, and I found a couple of posts that kind of caught me off guard. I knew it had been written by a Mormon, Jenny Phillips, and I was totally fine with that because the reviews on the website said that it was non-denominational, and that there was nothing in it that would contradict what I believe as a Bible-believing Christian. And so then I started to read reviews of people just saying that they had stopped using it because it was written by a Mormon, but they didn't have anything factual as to why they weren't. And so I want to clear that up because that is a question that I do get asked a lot is, A, are you Mormon? And no, we are not. I am a Bible-believing Christian. In the comments below, I'll put a link of just what I believe. And everyone has their own convictions about using different things. For me, after a lot of prayer and after looking through the curriculum and trying to see if there would be anything that would be against what we believe and what we're teaching our children, I had not found anything. And we have now used it half of a year, and I have used the 5th, 3rd, 2nd, and kinder curriculum and have found nothing. I love The Good and the Beautiful because it really emphasizes good character. And there are quotes in there from Mormon leaders, but it's just quotes on character, and it is not pushing a certain belief or anything like that. So if that has you kind of looking at it and questioning, do I want to get this? Is it going to push Mormon beliefs on my kids? Is it going to do anything like that? If you are not a Mormon, it does not. It's very non-denominational. Jenny Phillips has done an incredible job of putting together a really beautiful curriculum that emphasizes good character, and it's wonderful literature. So yeah, I've had a lot of people ask if it's hard to plan with all of the different grades, and it is not. It is designed that they should be able to just open it up and go. However, I prefer that each one of my older kids, that they have their weekly schedule of what they're supposed to be doing. That would take a little bit of time to go through and write because, and I'll show you here in a second what kind of comes with the curriculum. But I have been using a website called Homeschool Planet, and I'll leave a link for it below. It is phenomenal. And what you do, it can be applied to any sort of homeschool curriculum for the most part. I think they've got the majority of curriculum out there on this site, and it is an online schedule planner. And so you plug in, you click what curriculum you're using, you put in each kid what they're doing, and then it compiles it and you can adjust it per week. And so like I'll have it, and I'll do a video on this later to kind of walk you through how I use it. But I have each child, like let's say Colt, his Good and the Beautiful curriculum goes there, and then he's got his math plugged in, and so he can go through and it shows exactly what he's supposed to be doing, what page, what lesson, little check boxes next to each thing. And so it is phenomenal. I highly recommend Homeschool Planet if you are a homeschooling mama. And so I will leave a link to that below. Going back to the cost of the Good and the Beautiful, some people have asked, is it expensive? And it's not. They keep the cost of it very low because they're so passionate about getting really great curriculum out there for your families. And so there actually are two options. You can either purchase it and then they'll send it to you all printed and bound, or you can get the PDF and print it yourself, and that is a fraction of the cost. Another great thing is if you're kind of not sure about whether you want to use it, you could just get the PDF and then read through it before you purchase the entire curriculum. So that's a tip if you're debating whether to use the Good and the Beautiful curriculum. Others have asked if the Good and the Beautiful teaches to the current grade that the child is at, and it does not. I have found that it teaches up a grade. So if you're purchasing, let's say for your second grader, they have a really cool test that you can kind of go through to just see where your child is going to be and what book he needs to go in. So even though he may be in second grade, he may use the first book. You're not teaching backwards, just know that. So it teaches up a level, and I have just been so amazed at what my kids are learning. My mind is blown. Even my husband, I'll be like, did you know that they know this? And it is absolutely wild, the amount of information that they are soaking up, and they're loving it. That's what's so fun, is they love doing school and they're learning something different and new every day. It's really cool. So one of the things that I think is so cool about the Good and the Beautiful is that it is combining a ton of different subjects into the entire curriculum. So you're not needing a million books to teach all the things. Your math will be separate, which we use Horizon for math still, and we love it. But it combines everything else that they need to be learning into the curriculum. So it's going to cover, and I wrote it down just right over here because I kept trying to repeat all of the things that it covers and kept forgetting. So it combines reading, writing, spelling, grammar, punctuation, literature, geography, and art. So it is all the things combined into one, and all of the lessons are super fun. They're bright, they're colorful. Okay, I wanted to share with you what my older kids are doing as far as the Good and the Beautiful, and just kind of give you an idea. One of the things that I love is that it assigns these readers, and instead of saying you need to read page this to this, we just say you need to read for 20 minutes. And my kids are loving the stories. It's just really great literature inside of the readers. So it's called Favorite Classics, and this is, which one is this? This is the level 3. So this is what my third grader is using. And then this is what his course book looks like. So I'm gonna just open it up to give you an idea of how amazingly beautiful it is. Let's see here, I'll find a good page. So right here, we studied countries, and he got to make a make-believe map. There is sentence diagramming, which is incredible, and it's super thorough, and it's not hard. I at first was like, oh gosh, he's diagramming sentences, but he got it, and it was wonderful. There is some penmanship, and then let me find something else here. This is some artwork. We learned about an artist called Edmund Adler. And so this is just, while they're learning about this artist, he's also learning geography and filling in all of these countries in Europe. There is a spelling rule, there's phonics. I mean, it is full. And you can see every day he's learning something completely different. Here's some more geography. This is talking about the structure of a sentence and what a sentence needs. So just full of incredible, incredible stuff. I still am just so blown away by what he is learning. And then there is also this. He has spelling words, which we will go over. And then there's also sentence dictation, where I will read them some sentences. They will practice writing them down. This year, I feel like Horizon had been so good for us in the years past, but this is what we were lacking. And now it is just more than made up for what we were needing. And I am seeing such a huge improvement in their writing skills, in their spelling, in all of the things, because not only is it, I mean, they're not just doing a textbook and then forgetting, they're getting to practically use it all throughout this curriculum. There are also a couple of, this is what my youngest little fella is doing. Let me actually pull him out here. So he's got these cards, and this is for reading. We add new cards every week, different sounds, and then we'll have like a mastered bag that he gets to put them in, and then ones that he's working on. So another question I get is it hard to teach multiple grades with the good and the beautiful? And no, it's no more difficult than any other curriculum. So it took us a few weeks to really get into a good rhythm of what was working and what didn't work. We gathered together in the morning, and I'll do another blog post and a video kind of showing what it looks like. But in the morning, we gather for our Bible and our history and read aloud, and any extra unit study that we'll be doing. Like this spring, we're going to be studying chickens and hatching. So we'll do that all together in the morning. And then after our group time in the morning, my big kids will go to their rooms and practice their musical instruments. During that time, I'm at the table with my kindergartner and second grader, and we are digging into the subjects that they really need me to be hands-on with them with. And so I will work really hard for the first couple of hours with my kindergartner and second grader, making sure that they've got everything down that they need a lot of help with. And then we'll kind of flip-flop, and I will then help my bigger kids after a couple of hours with the subjects that they're needing help on, like sentence dictation and spelling, correcting things, going over anything they may not understand. And during that time, my younger ones can work on subjects that they do not need me as much for, like handwriting or sometimes, their math lessons, things that I have already mapped out for them that they know how to do. So I would encourage you, if you have multiple grades, even if you're thinking, oh gosh, I want to homeschool, but I've got all these grades, just know that it's very possible. And sometimes it takes a couple of weeks to figure out a good system, a good rhythm, and for your kids to know what that expectation is as well. It's just like any classroom, public, private. You set the expectation for your students and let them know this is how we're doing it. And my big kids know that in those first couple hours in the morning, that if they're stuck on something, they set it aside and they save it, so that after those first 2 hours, then it's their turn and they get to have me. And so they move on to something that they can do on their own. And that's the beauty of, once you get your kids reading, so much of their education they can do on their own. If they can read, they can figure it out for the most part. That's what I love about homeschooling, is it is helping to build really independent learners. And that's something that I want them to take on, to go forward with in life, is that doesn't matter how old you are, you can always be learning. I love learning. I love figuring things out myself, even at 34. If you have any questions about the Good and the Beautiful curriculum, if you have anything that I haven't covered, just ask in the comments below, and I would love to get that answered. So I hope that helps as you're making your decision with homeschooling and curriculum. So yeah, thank you for following along. Make sure to go up to the top and hit subscribe. You're going to be seeing 2 new videos per week, as well as 2 blog posts with the Vanilla Tulip Farmhouse. Thank you.